Welcome to the virtual commencement ceremony for the Film and Media Studies program. I'm Jason Middleton, director of the program. I wish we could all be here together today on the University of Rochester campus, but I hope that the videos we've prepared for the graduating seniors and your families and friends will help to convey the high regard in which the faculty holds this group of students in Film and Media Studies. It has struck me during this bizarre and difficult time in which we've all found ourselves isolated at home, how film and television have offered comfort, creative inspiration, and even a sense of community for countless people. Film festivals around the world have made their screening programs available as live streaming events. Film societies and archives have made classic and foreign cinema titles available for free. Tools such as Netflix Party and Watch Party have enabled us to view shows and films with our friends and react to them in real time. Every major newspaper and magazine has offered a list like 20 best movies to binge during quarantine, unexpected movie masterpieces to watch during quarantine, and feel-good movies for quarantine streaming. Film and television connect us across physical distance in shared worlds, both fictional and real. And I hope that despite all of our distance from one another on this graduation day, that is normally a time to come together, we can reflect upon and appreciate the amazing accomplishments of our graduating seniors. Speaking for myself, and on behalf of my colleagues who have taught this class of Film and Media Studies majors, watched them develop as critical thinkers and writers, filmmakers, public speakers, and community members, I can affirm that they have always exceeded our highest expectations. Today we will hear from my colleagues in Film and Media Studies, Professors Sharon Willis, June Wong, Carrie Adams, Joel Burgess, Laila Nadir, Stephen Schottenfeld, and James Rosenau, sharing their experiences of the distinctive and impressive accomplishments of each graduating senior. The Film and Media Studies majors have wide-ranging interests and abilities. This year's graduates have accomplished double majors or minors in a variety of disciplines, including financial economics, audio and music engineering, environmental humanities, and digital media studies. This means that they bring to our classes a breadth of knowledge and skills that harmonize beautifully with the study of film and media, which requires attention to the technologies of production and exhibition, as well as to visual and narrative aesthetics and the critical analysis of social and political contexts. Often taking advantage of the unique resources Rochester has to offer, such as the George Eastman Museum and its film archive, our students can study the entire history of the film medium, itself just over a century old, as well as the rapid emergence and evolution of the newer media technologies that continue to grow around and in dialogue with cinema. Members of this graduating class have been instrumental in building and strengthening the culture centered on film and media study at the University of Rochester. The student group, Undergraduate Film Council, has thrived in recent years and supports students' creative and intellectual work outside of the classroom. They've organized great events, such as the 24-hour film festival, where teams of students are given exactly one day in which to conceive, shoot, and edit a film using an assigned topic or prop. Other members of our graduating class were involved with the University of Rochester Cinema Group, which screens contemporary and classic films on campus every weekend night. The annual Golan Festival of Student Films, selected by a faculty jury, has seen an upsurge in the number of submissions and the quality and diversity of the work. Sadly, of course, we were not able to hold the festival in person this spring, but we created an online version featuring outstanding student work. In the traditional commencement ceremony, we turn down the lights and enjoy a screening of a few short films by graduating seniors. We hope that today you will follow the link on the commencement website to view some amazing film work by this graduating class. Recent graduates of the FMS program have pursued Masters of Fine Arts degrees in filmmaking in programs including the University of Southern California, UCLA, and New York University, PhDs in top programs in cinema and media studies, including the University of Wisconsin-Madison, University of Pennsylvania, and Emory University. One recent graduate attended the prestigious Selznick School of Film Preservation at the George Eastman Museum. Others have pursued professional degrees in fields including library and information science, law, medicine, and engineering. Some graduates have moved directly to work in some aspect of film and media production. For example, a recent graduate works in global media distribution and digital initiatives for the National Basketball Association. In a related fashion, another became an associate producer for the CBS Sports Network. Films by FMS graduates have screened and won awards at major festivals, such as one former student's documentary film, Mayor, a portrait of the mayor of the Palestinian capital of Ramallah, which won the grand prize at the Full Frame Documentary Film Festival this year. Despite the profound uncertainties of our world today, I believe that, like their predecessors in the program, this group of students will pursue fascinating and rewarding life experiences and careers. I look forward to hearing news from them in the future. I want to congratulate the seniors who are our prize recipients of the Barbara Lee Rubin and Richard M. Gollin prizes for graduating seniors listed on the commencement website, and to all of the graduating seniors. We'll now hear from the Film and Media Studies faculty as they speak about the distinctive qualities of each of our graduating seniors in alphabetical order by last name. Thank you.
I'm very pleased to congratulate Martha Adams on graduating with distinction. Mar is very much her own person, and that's what I admire about her. She's gifted with a slightly eccentric, offbeat, somewhat dark humor, and she has often leavened our class discussions with that very humor. Mar never speaks unless she has something to say, and I really appreciate that. Her contributions to class are always original, always opening fresh angles for analysis, and always very particular. I hope she always preserves that particularity. I'm confident that these qualities will serve her very well in her future.
It's been a real pleasure to get to know Jasmine in my classes these past 2 years. By the time I met her, she already had an impressively strong foundation in film analysis and cultural theory, as could be seen in her written work, and in her quiet yet active engagement in the classroom, a presence which combines carefully listening to others, and yet being willing to offer her own thoughtful and often thought-provoking contributions. What I remember most is a creative assignment in which she explored the concept of psychogeography, a theory about the relationship between memory, emotion, and place. It's difficult to move from the abstract into an investigation of the more messy and subjective implications of a theory. This ability to navigate the complicated tensions between theory and practice is what makes for a true scholar, and that's what Jasmine is. One of Jasmine's most memorable moments as an FMS major is the Art New York program, where she was a video intern for a nonprofit called Studio in a School, and also completed a project about wealth inequality and homelessness near Billionaires Row. The latter was featured at the gallery outside the Art and Music Library at the university. I wish Jasmine all the best in her future endeavors, and I'm excited to see what path she'll take next. Jasmine graduates with highest distinction in the major.
As a double major in Film and Media Studies and Digital Media Studies, Victoria Bongard has demonstrated an ambitious commitment, not just to becoming a media professional, but to already being one during her college career. She's provided invaluable creative work to the university. For example, she shot, directed, and edited videos for many campus organizations, including content for the university's orientation office. She gained significant professional experience as a production assistant on shoots for the television series Gone, in which she ran sound and served as dolly and drone operator, among other important roles. While some students' commitments to internships and extracurricular activities can draw energy away from their coursework, Victoria got the most out of all her educational and professional opportunities during her time here. She graduates cum laude with highest distinction in the major and with election to the prestigious Phi Beta Kappa Society. Victoria was my student in my large Introduction to the Art of Film lecture class, in which she distinguished herself from a group of 80 students with her smart and insightful comments in class and her literally perfect exam scores. But I got to know Victoria better when I supervised an independent study project in which she produced 2 excellent films, a comedic narrative short about time travel titled The Spoiler Paradox, and a documentary promotional film for the Rochester nonprofit So Green, a community needlework group. In these films, Victoria demonstrates confident camera work, a great eye for composition, and in particular, an intuitive facility with the rhythms of film editing. Her films are beautifully paced and keep the viewer engaged from start to finish. I'm certain that Victoria's wide-ranging skills and talents will serve her well in all of her future pursuits, and I very much look forward to hearing about them. Congratulations, Victoria.
It's an honor to speak on behalf of Luis Guitarrez. I've had the pleasure of having Luis in my Advanced Video Landscapes course in fall of 2019. Luis left a really positive impression on both me and his peers through his thoughtful engagement with the radical conceptual and technical components of the course. He made several works that would make excellent contributions to international video festivals and screenings. It wasn't unusual for him to work long hours in the lab, arranging multiple versions of each assignment, and then bringing a real rigor and insight into critiques and discussions. Luis demonstrates intellectual curiosity in his approach to new and challenging subject matter. He shows a promise in narrative and documentary filmmaking and is a skilled creator of nonlinear, more experimental types of artworks. I wish Luis the very best, and I'm looking forward to hearing about his future accomplishments. He graduates with a 3.45 in FMS. Good luck, Luis.
I'm delighted to be congratulating Samuel Hirschhorn today. He graduates with the highest honors, though he will return to our intellectual community on a Take 5 year in the fall. Sam is one of the most talented students I have ever taught. His fierce intelligence and crafty sense of humor have enlivened every class of mine that he has attended, and I mean every single class. I know that Sam thinks he's kind of quirky, and that's precisely what makes him such a joyous presence in the classroom and such an engaging voice when he's writing. Sam's approach to everything is thoroughly energetic. Always sharp and alert in class, he is also hugely generous in his comments and in his recognition of his classmates' ideas. I'll long remember his dynamic presence, the way he thinks with his whole body, the way he thinks so elegantly, even as he's just beginning to develop an idea. My best wish for him is that he remains this quirky and that he retains his very distinctive voice. Congratulations.
My name is Laila Nadir, and I am a professor and the director of environmental humanities at the University of Rochester. It is my pleasure to congratulate Matt Hipsman on his Film and Media Studies degree. I met Matt in spring 2018 when he enrolled in my Food Media Literature course, and we had recently had a chance to work together again last semester in my Environmental Apocalypse in the Anthropocene course last fall. Matt has always been a solid presence of deep sincerity in my courses. When our food media literature course visited the farm sanctuary at Watkins Glen, Matt's ability to relate to the animals was an inspiration for other students who were hesitant to open up. This ability to connect with others and put his fellow students at ease makes Matt an amazing presence in the classroom, deeply attuned to nuances and responsive to his classmates. For his final paper for Environmental Apocalypse, Matt examined diverse texts, including films like Mad Max Fury Road and Bong Joon-ho's Snowpiercer, and also many literary works to study how apocalyptic scenarios rework characters' relationships to names, identity, and language. His analysis is clearly poignant for our times. Matt also earned a minor in environmental humanities during his time at U of R, and he graduates with distinction with a 3.58 GPA in film and media studies. My colleagues wish Matt the very best, and I look forward to hearing about his future accomplishments. Congrats, Matt.
I got to know Svarina Karwanyan in two of the classes about TV that I teach at the University of Rochester. In the poetics of television and then the politics of television, Svarina was a fully present student. She consistently brought seriousness of purpose and a purposeful energy to both classes in what I recall as a basically joyful way. That's a real talent, to have serious and passionate energy that lifts us up in class instead of dragging us down. As a double major in film and media studies and in economics, she also brought an interdisciplinary intelligence to class. In both poetics and politics, Svarina ranged curiously and smartly across media and modes in doing assignments full of insights. For example, in the Poetics of Television, she used data visualizations to explore the aesthetics of TV in a big group project. In that same class, she wrote a thoughtful essay on how important faces and facial expressions are on the television series The Newsroom, reflecting on the importance of body language on TV screens in a way that seems prescient for our own moment where we spend so much time on Zoom. And then finally, she produced both a traditional essay and a skillfully argumentative video essay in the politics of television. Both of these were about how a ratio of the personal and the political drives millennials towards shows such as Vice News, over and against older forms of broadcast journalism, favored by baby boomers and Gen Xers. I wish I had time to go on, as Svarina, like all of you, deserve much more in this moment than a virtual graduation. It's nonetheless with great pleasure and admiration that I congratulate you, Svarina, for completing the Film and Media Studies major with highest distinction, and wish you the best of luck as you head into your future.
I am so excited to congratulate Tess Perry, Film and Media Studies major, on graduating this year with the highest distinction. I met Tess when she enrolled in my Environmental Literature and Film course in 2017, and I ran into her at the library one day, and I asked her how the class was going, and she had just written an excellent paper on the mythology of the American frontier, but she confessed to me that day, almost apologetically, that she was surprised that she was enjoying my class because, as she said, I'm not that natural or environmental. Well, I guess that changed because in the course of Tessa's Film and Media Studies work, she went on to take more environmental courses with me and other professors, resulting in an environmental humanities minor that has very much influenced her approach to film. There are so many successes to list from Tessa's undergraduate career, but to be brief, I will say that the apex of her work, for me, was the research paper that she wrote for my senior seminar, Climate Species Justice. The paper was titled America's Opioid Massacre, Rename, Reframe, and it adapted theories of biopolitics to examine how rhetoric around the so-called opioid crisis fails to hold institutions to account for decisions that have produced not a crisis, but a massacre. For this paper, Tess received first prize in the humanities category in this year's Writing Colloquium contest, a much-deserved honor. While at U of R, Tess has also steadily worked toward her professional goals of working in the film industry. In addition to interning at the TV production company Fabric Entertainment, Tess has worked for the past 2 years in the activism department of Anonymous Content, a production company in Los Angeles. After graduation, she hopes to be continuing on with Anonymous. It's been a privilege to see Tess grow intellectually and to see her find her voice over these past 3 years. I'm so proud of you, Tess. And I mean it sincerely that I hope you stay in touch because I can't wait to see what kind of fabulous work you do in the future. Congratulations.
Hi, this is Professor Bernardi and congratulations to the FMS graduating class of 2020. I'm adding a few words about a particularly memorable student, Ruki Sharmishta Pradivati Bayankaram. A double major receiving a BS in anthropology and a BA in film and media studies, Ruki is completing her FMS degree with highest distinction. She has also been accepted to the E5 program in entrepreneurship, so she'll also be spending an additional 5th year based in the AIN Center for Entrepreneurship. Ruki, thanks for the way in which you wisely used my Tourist Japan class as an opportunity to thoughtfully question your own biases and assumptions, diving headlong into the course material that made you the most uncomfortable because of the manner in which it exoticized or objectified some aspect of Japanese society or culture. You instantly upped the game in the online response threads to our weekly film screenings and class discussions. I was delighted to work with you again the following spring in my Hayao Miyazaki course on Japanese animation. This gave me the opportunity to see how, in the space of 1 year, your skill in deconstructing coded representations of race and gender had matured. Congratulations on a job well done, and thank you for always reminding me how important it is to keep revisiting and, when necessary, revising my opinions when new evidence allows me to see something from a new perspective. Congratulations again to you and to the entire graduating class.
Hello, my name is Carrie Adams, and I'm a professor of art and art history, environmental humanities, and film and media studies. And today, I have the pleasure of speaking on behalf of Jiaqi Qin, also known as Angel. I've worked with Angel for over 3 years through multiple studio art and environmental humanities courses. Angel is an inspiring student who engages theoretical, conceptual, and technical domains, all with fresh, original perspective, rigor, and an admirable, cool quietness. She has developed a sense of slowing down and carefully responding to her work and environment. As an artist and a thinker, Angel is never simply reactive, but takes her time to fully respond and develop her ideas. She's told me that from advanced video classes that she's learned that concept is more important than technical wizardry, and she's learned to focus more on subtlety and nuance in her productions. Angel cites Professor Laila Nadir's courses in environmental humanities for helping her to critically reflect on social and mental landscapes. During Angel's time here at the U of R, she's established herself as one of the most exciting artists of her generation. She was recently accepted into the 33rd European Media Arts Festival for her work New, and she was invited to give a performance there, which is a really big deal for an emerging artist. She's been accepted into several esteemed and prominent programs of graduate studies and has decided to attend a graduate program in fine arts at the Royal College of Art in London. Angel has minors in studio art, Japanese, and environmental humanities. She graduates FMS with a high distinction GPA of 3.76. I'm proud to have worked with Angel, and I wish her all the very best going forward. I know she'll continue to pioneer new directions in art and life through her fearless, experimental, post-disciplinary worldview and practice.
Hello, Nina. I'm honored that you've asked me to speak on your behalf. When I sat down to collect my thoughts for this testimonial, I started thinking about the journey, both literal and figurative, you took in our screenwriting course, and about the journey your character, Carrie, makes in your screenplay. In the first week of class, you were still flying back to Rochester, and I mention this not to call you out for absences, your attendance was impeccable from that day forward, but to note in your writing your deep investigation of flight and return, the drama of Carrie's leave-taking and homecoming. At a time in which we feel especially restricted, there was an added resonance to her travels and travails. Your script was so affecting, so attentive to family and culture. I've been informed that you are graduating with high distinction. This is utterly unsurprising. If I can make a prediction, or at the very least, a deep wish, it's that your future will be, like Carrie's, simultaneously independent and rooted, a life that is both your own, but one connected to and enriched by those who have nurtured you along the way. Congratulations, Nina.
It is my honor to record this congratulatory message for Asher Soriano. Asher has the unique distinction of taking not one, not two, but all 4 courses I've taught during my first year here at the University of Rochester. He is the type of student film professors dream of having, because not only does he genuinely have a passion for the medium, he has an uncanny ability to see how film functions and why it matters. Over our time together, I have seen him sharpen his already keen eye. Whether it was in a deftly handled investigation into Birth of a Nation's press coverage, or in his wordless posts, where he always seemed to spot the most clandestine Easter eggs, ones that even I, after multiple viewings, had never caught. His creativity and generosity were felt by all. In every class, Asher could be counted on to shed insight into the day's topic, and never hesitated to challenge me, particularly on this one movie, Freaks, which ultimately benefited everybody. I will even miss him correcting every minor typo in my PowerPoints. Recently, during this dark and confusing moment, I returned to Asher's final line from his thoughtful paper on HBO's Watchmen for a source of comfort. Quote, "Though it may be naive, I'd rather take the future is bright than the end is nigh." Sir, I can only hope that you learned a fraction as much from me as I have from you. And yes, I expect an invite to any and all film premieres you have in your incredibly bright future. Unsurprisingly, Asher graduates with highest distinction in this major. Now, before the orchestra plays me off, one last thing. Asher, the privilege of spending this year with you will be with me for my entire career. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Excelsior.